Hey there friends, what's up? My name is Rabbit, and welcome to episode number 14 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy 1 on the PlayStation 1. In our previous episode, we went back to the Western Keep to speak with that mysterious king, and what do you know, when he saw that crown that we already had affixed on our heads, because let's be real, we all know that Burl probably feels like a beautiful yet still simultaneously strong man while wearing a crown. But nevertheless, that random king was a little mad that we had that crown, and it turned out he was Astos. So we had to give him a really quick kick in the butt. Then we got Matoya's crystal eye from Astos. How he ended up acquiring the eye himself, I don't have a clue, but we got her eye back, went to visit her, and she was just as rude as can be. She did give us a jolt tonic in exchange for her eye, but then she promptly showed us to the door. But that's okay, because we don't need anything from her anyway. So after getting the jolt tonic from her, we ran back to Elfheim, met with the prince's servant, and it turns out that the jolt tonic was what was needed to awaken the prince again. So a whole lot of running around, and we're kind of in part 2 of running around because the prince, once he awakened, gave us the mystic key. So we've got a few places that we need to go because we want to go to those sealed doors and use the mystic key in order to access a couple really nice treasures, a couple not so nice treasures, and then one story-driven item that we have to have whether we want to do the backtracking or not. So we are not going to cry over spilled milk. We are just, I guess, going to get into a fight right before we dock. Woo! There's a lot going on here, and I do not like the looks of this, so let us promptly cast some AoEs. I think the gogglers can really cause some issues, I want to say, so we're not going to even play these games today. You guys have got to go. I can't remember if do they paralyze you? I don't know what they do, but I don't like the way they look, period. Even if they're harmless, they got to go. Or maybe I was right. Is it paralysis? Yeah, it is paralysis. It could be a deadly combination if you were a lower level and facing them for the very first time. Oh crap, fire was not the spell to cast. I should have opted for ice, but whatever. They're dead, and that's what matters. We're not here to be perfect friends. We're just here to kick some butt. So we are going to run here to Cornelia. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Cornelia. Maybe it's supposed to be called Cornelia, and Cornelia is the English equivalent. I don't know. But let me go ahead and sleep at the inn because it's only 30 gil. We're not going to see prices like this ever again. So once we're in the neighborhood, it might behoove us to go ahead and just make a quick pit stop, even though we didn't use too many spell charges. But we have a bit of running around to do anyway, so we'll just go ahead and get ourselves rested. We'll refuel and keep on moving. Now, I need to go to the castle here at Cornelia. Move, girl. Get out the way. And I said the nice version, but please still get out of the way. Okay, we'll run up here. And I cannot remember where all of the locked doors are, but we'll try to find them. No, that's where that princess is. Probably again. Oh, it is in that little back area. Okay. Let me slow my roll. I'm not trying to get kicked out of here accidentally, except that's exactly what I did. How do I get back around there? Hold on, friends. We'll figure this out. Oh, I could just truly hug the inner wall. Okay. We'll get there eventually. What does this little fella have to say? The key has found its rightful master. Now open the locks. They will provide you with aid for your journey. Oh, you mean like 700 gil? Because, bruh, I've had that money. The room is locked with the mystic key. Not anymore, it's not. And woo! Look at these treasures, you guys. We're about to cash out. So if we open this, we find a crosier. We have a saber as well. And a mithril knife. Nice little finds there. We'll take a look at them here in just a moment. But I want to get all my prizes first. We have a steel plate. Great. An iron shield. And what is this? Nitro powder. Well, someone took the time to start blaring the trumpet, so I think we can deduce this is probably going to be an important item for us to have. So let's take a quick moment to look at everything we did pick up. The crosier, staff topped with iron rings. I think we saw before that this is something that your monks can equip, but if I have not demonstrated it well enough by this point, I want to just highlight again that I think you really, at this point, should not have your monk using any weapons. He needs to be bare-knuckled, I guess, or I don't want to say fisting enemies, but you know what I'm saying. Let's just keep on moving. So long-bladed sword made for piercing. That one needed a hard pause, you guys. And this can go on Rohit. I don't know if, I think that's not better than the mithril sword. I think we've seen sabers before. We'll look anyway at all the stats. I just want to check all the descriptions. Knife made of mithril. Silver is the mithril knife. No duh. Steel plate is armor made of thinly hammered steel. Probably not for anyone in our party, and that is confirmed on this page. We need a warrior, a knight, or a ninja, none of whom are in our party right now. And then an iron shield made of iron. Again, we don't have anyone that would be able to use this, so we've got some selling fodder, which is great. I am deeply appreciative of that. And let's look at that key item we picked up, the nitro powder packed with explosive power. Now, what on earth would we need an explosive for? Well, we won't worry about it too much yet. What we need to continue to do is revisit those other sections where we need to open the sealed doors. And he's saying the same thing. So what I am going to actually do, before I forget, let me do some swapping around of items. Yeah, the saber is not good, so we will be selling that. We also got the mithril knife. Ooh, that's a pretty nice increase to attack as well as accuracy for Tyrone. And then was that all that we got that we could really use right now? Because, yeah, we'll sell the crosier, we'll sell the saber, we can't use the steel plate, and we can't use the iron shield, and the dagger is garbage. So we will quickly sell those. Before I forget, I like to just clear out my inventory while we're here in town. And this town is so small, which is also kind of nice. You know, it just feels so cozy, so homey. I'd love to live in an area like this. Maybe someday, friends. Maybe someday. But okay. See ya, Crosier. Thanks for the 100 gil. See ya, Saber. Can't use the steel plate. Ooh, it's worth a pretty penny, though. Dagger is trash. And the iron shield. Not too terrible, but it's not something we can use. So, we will not worry about it. Alrighty. So, I will not make you guys watch me running everywhere because we do have some sections that are a little further spread out than others. I need to next head over to the Temple of Chaos, so there will probably be a few fights and I just don't want you guys to have to keep seeing them or for me to have to keep editing all of them out. So I will just bring you guys back when we are standing outside of the Temple of Chaos, and then we will go in together and open those doors. So I'll see you there in just a second. We're here, friends. We are here. Let's head into the Temple of Chaos, and I think it was the 2 right-hand doors. Oh my gosh. I love the track here. I don't know why it just sticks out to me so much, but it's so beautiful. I could sit here and listen to the Temple of Chaos song probably for an hour. It just is so peaceful, so soothing. Maybe some good like nighttime beats to just have playing on your iPod, right? Does anyone use iPods anymore? Now that I say that, I guess everyone probably uses their phone. Okay, monsters. Did you not see what just happened to the skeletons right in front of you? I guess they did not observe. But hey, also, while we are here, check it out, guys. The mithril equipment, I don't know if you noticed, but in combat, it actually changed the color of the weapons. So Melvin's hammer is blue. Tyrone's dagger is blue, and, I mean, we've seen this for a little while. Rohit's sword is a bluish hue. His was not as noticeable, I think, as the hammer itself, but look at that. Melvin's in particular is very visibly a different color. I think the normal hammers were like brownish. Maybe they were gray. I can't remember. Anyway, let's go ahead and unlock this door to... These monsters, they're tripping, aren't they? My God. The gargoyles... I don't... Did we see these guys here before? Maybe they're special to the room. I honestly can't remember. I know we have seen these monsters. I think we saw them in Marsh Cave. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we did fight them here. It's been too long. It doesn't feel like it, though. In terms of the story itself, I've kind of mentioned that that is admittedly one of the weak aspects of this game, is that, you know, it doesn't have the most robust story, but, you know, you gotta also look at the context of when the game was released. And with that in mind, I think it has a whole lot to offer, but, just don't expect the most meaningful narrative. Anyway, we found the rune blade in the treasure chest while we are here. Let's take a look at it, and it says it is a sword effective against spell-casting foes. Interesting. Maybe a little hint that we'll want to use that at some point, but ooh, that damage reduction, I am not feeling that. We'll hold on to the rune blade, though. I don't want to go ahead and just say it's selling fodder, but is it something that I will absolutely use on Rohit? I don't know. I think I'll need a little bit more time before I make that determination. But let's hustle to the top. And there should be, I think there were only 2 rooms that were locked, but I could be wrong, and there could be 3, and oh Lord Jesus, we cannot be here all day. You guys have got to go. I'm shocked, though, that these monsters think they stand a chance just showing up, messing around, causing me grief because I have to now use my charges. Well, is it really grief? It costs like 30 gil to sleep at the inn in Cornelia, so I probably need to not be dramatic, but let's go in here and here, I'm telling you, the game is trolling. That's okay. Does Dia work on the gargoyles? I don't know. Let's find out. We'll experiment a little bit. I am all about trying out new things. Well, within reason. I'm not just gonna try everything, but we didn't even have a chance to try it. Now, if we can make it without being rudely interrupted by any additional monsters, we have a werebane in this chest, and then to the right we have a gold needle. We've had a few of those before, so nothing too wonderful, but they are expensive, so I guess, you gotta give it to the game for that. Giving you a free one. Sword effective against werebeasts is the werebane, so kind of a similar situation to the rune blade, where you're looking at this being more effective against particular enemies, but is it something in general that would be advantageous to just have equipped? I don't think so, but we won't be in any particular hurry to sell these. I don't think there's a reason to clear out our inventory, so we'll just leave them where they're at, and we'll see if a situation does come up where we want to go ahead and swap out Rohit's mithril sword. But, alright friends, this is just the first of many. Okay. These monsters are really driving me nuts. So anyway, I was getting ready to say this is the first of many areas that we're going to have to backtrack to. So let me just part ways with you here, and I will catch up with you at the next area we need to head to, which will be, well, I guess we need to go to both Western Keep and Marsh Cave, right? I want to say Western Keep did have a locked door, and I know for a fact that the Marsh Cave did. So I think we have 2 more places that we need to go. So I will catch up with you at Western Keep. We'll go there first, then we'll part ways, and I'll head to the Marsh Cave on my own and bring you guys back there too. So yeah, give me just a second, friends. Okay, we are finally outside of Western Keep, and this should be the second to last of the sections that we need to backtrack to on our mystic quest, if you will. Now I have to remember, I guess it's that one to the left-hand side. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to keep track of which door is which when you're trying to go by memory and go back through all these places. But I think this is the one. Here it is. Okay. I don't think I even realized. Oh, wraiths. I don't think we had gotten into any fights coming through Western Keep in the past, had we? Maybe I just got lucky, or maybe there are just monsters in here protecting the treasure. I suppose that makes sense. One thing I do vaguely recall about Final Fantasy is that if there's a treasure chest kind of off by itself, more than likely there is a very challenging enemy blocking it. So be prepared. There are usually shenanigans awaiting you in that scenario. Now, I don't know how much HP these things have, but it really shouldn't be too bad. Okay, we'll get our gold, get our XP, and now get our prizes. So we've got a falchion, which we'll check out here in just a... So are all of these blocked? My goodness, mummies. I guess they are, but that's okay, because we are more than prepared for what they've got going on. So we'll just throw out Dia, and I think 2 rounds of fire too, and I will be immensely surprised if they survive any of this. Now, if our levels were a little bit lower, I'm not gonna lie to you, this would be an unwelcome surprise. You think you're just coming in and grabbing these chests, and what do you know? A whole bunch of mummies are standing there ready to mess with you. But we found a power staff. Very nice. And let's see what the last treasure is after we take out another batch of mummies. You know, just for the sake of experimentation, let's try Ice 2 and see how effective that is. I think, though, Dia alone should be enough to really get done what needs to be done. And we'll do Bolt 2 just to switch it up so not every encounter looks exactly alike. Alright, Ice 2, not the way to go. But this should be a wrap for them, and then we will briefly take a look at the descriptions for the items that we picked up here in Western Keep, which leaves only Marsh Cave remaining. So some steel gloves, we already know we're more than likely going to have to sell those. I do believe that you have to have like the warrior and that kind of class in order to use those. So the falchion, sword with a wide blade, and it looks like it is appropriate for Rohit. We'll take a look at how that will impact him if we did opt to equip that on him. We've got a power staff, which is just a heavy staff. We're not even going to worry about Burl. Looks like Melvin and Tyrone could use it. I don't know if I'm going to really worry about that, though. We'll take a look here in a second. And then the steel gloves, yep, warrior, knight, ninja. We don't got it, so we're just going to immediately plan on selling those. Let's look and see how the power staff would impact our stats here. It's not positively. I think you're better off just sticking with the knife on Tyrone if you have a black mage like I do, because yeah, his physical attack goes up, but that decrease to accuracy, I don't see how you can justify such a big change, so I'm not going to worry about that. The mithril sword we can compare to the falchion, which it's really not a great thing to swap out. So something else for us to sell, and I think those were all the items we really picked up, right? Falchion, power staff, and then the steel gloves, which we couldn't look at. So once again, I will go ahead and head outside. I will make the journey over to Marsh Cave. Now, I think there was only one locked room over there, right? Well, we'll find out here in just a second. I'll see you guys. Actually, not outside of Marsh Cave. I'll just run back through because there's so many enemy encounters. I'll bring you guys back on that base floor, and we'll just head into all of the locked rooms. So see you there in just a sec. All right, I'm finally to the bottom level of the base floor here. Whew, and it was a pain to get here. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. The gargoyles, though, I can confirm, do not seem to be undead. I did try casting Dia 1 on them here at the Marsh Cave, and whew, they weren't having it. Did 0 damage. It felt pretty bad. But okay, more Pisco demons. These guys really were not an issue the first time we took them down, so I'm not anticipating them causing us any trouble this time around either. But I do feel like Melvin, you're just kind of standing here. But he does have the mithril hammer, so we'll have him go ahead and throw. I will throw steel on Burl, just so he packs a little bit more of a wallop. I'm guessing 2 rounds ought to take care of the Pisco demons. Now, I don't want to give them too much of an opportunity to deal damage to my team. I've made it this far without having to use items, although I think there will be a point where I'll have to tap into my antidotes as well as the potions. But that's why I went ahead and picked up quite a few. Ooh, gosh. They just deal so much damage. So you know what? We're not going to play around. We'll throw out Ice 2. Why did I even click on magic for Burl? We know he can't cast magic. And I will throw out... I'll put Cure 2 on Rohit. I'm worried about him, to be honest. And let's just try Ice 2 again. I'd like to kill them immediately before they kill Rohit. That would be a damn shame. Okay, but with that increase to... Oh, they killed him! No! Oh, poor Rohit. Well... I guess everyone else in the party is going to get some really good XP out of this. Oh gosh, I feel so terrible, but it's okay. Rohit will be just fine. He'll miss out a little bit. It'll get our other mages in much better shape. I'm telling you though, I think him being there, I want to say the enemies like to prioritize that top spot. So it might long term be better to move Burl to that position instead, but golly, I'd hate to do that. I kind of like Rohit being at the top But it is what it is. Let me go ahead and use my mini potions. There's a reason I bought them. I should not be hoarding them. I'm going to go ahead and just bring everyone pretty much up to max. The exception of poor Rohit. He just looks so terrible laying there, face planted on the ground. Let's grab our 1,020 gil from this treasure chest. Oh gosh. Please no more Pisco demons. I don't think I can handle it. Again, even though our levels have been good, the poison has the potential to be a pain in the ass, especially because Rohit was the only person who really has, well, I guess we'll just physically attack as well. Rohit is the only one that has Asuna. I still kind of waffle. I go back and forth between thinking Melvin should have it too, but I think antidotes are pretty affordable, especially if you have been grinding and following my play style regarding the levels and the equipment, tools, etc., etc. You should find yourself with a decent amount of gil to where you can theoretically stay stocked in terms of, oh, I guess I need to run around this, in terms of those consumables that will remove certain status ailment effects. So I don't know, I go back and forth, but if you're worried about it and you have a team that's admittedly as questionable in terms of their defensive potential at this point in the game, you might want to go ahead and have Asuna on your white mage in addition to having it on your red mage. I think that's just going to really give you a little bit of extra security, in particular when you're navigating dungeons like this where poison is going to be all too common. Okay, so let's see what's over here. Nothing. Oh gosh, I'm guessing more Pisca demons, and I don't really want to engage them if I don't have to. It doesn't look like there's anything over here other than a fight. I kind of want to run over here just to do it, just to be sure. Oh, they actually did not engage us. I guess they're just blocking the chests that the little statues are surrounding. That's interesting. Well, okay, I'm not going to worry about it then. And the gray ooze. Now the question, do these count as undead? I don't know. I don't think they do. But we'll throw out a fire, and then poor Tyrone is all out of charges. So all the more reason for us to get the hell out of here. Marsh Cave, our levels are great. Oh no, so that was a waste of Dia, but that's okay. Our levels are great, our damage is great. Going in here with only 3 standing party members, not so great. But I think we will be okay. I just want to hurry and grab whatever else is left here, and then as I mentioned when we were outside of Western Keep, that should conclude our personal journey in backtracking to all of the Mystic Key doors. We've gotten all the other ones. I want to say there wasn't another section where there were inaccessible areas. I'm trying to think. I believe we got everything, so this should be the last one. And then you might be wondering, well, what do we do now? Because technically the story has not presented us with what next steps need to look like. The only real key that we have to what needs to come next is we've got a special item that's an explosive, that nitro powder. But to my knowledge, we haven't met with anyone yet who's expressed interest in blowing anything up. So we really don't know what that's all about. But let's run over here and grab this last chest. Anacondas. I don't think they were actually blocking that, so kind of weird that they grabbed us right before we had a chance to really do anything. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw out a Cure 2 on Burl, might as well. Sadly, I have no more AoEs on Tyrone. What a shame. No big deal though. We'll kill everyone, and then I'm getting the hell out of Marsh Cave, and hopefully we never need to come back here ever again. So Fire 1 ought to take... Ooh, Lord. I guess fire is not what they are susceptible to. I don't know what these things would count as. Let's try bolts and see. I should try to keep up with what everyone's weak to. That will make other encounters in the future a whole lot simpler, but it is what it is. We'll see how we fare. Just flying by the seat of our pants. But okay, Burl, can you please hurry up and kill this anaconda before he kills us? That would be great. All right, we'll grab more gil, more XP, and our prize, which is a mithril knife, which we already have one on Tyrone, do we not? Yes, we do. So technically, this, I guess, really is just selling fodder. Who else could even use the mithril knife? Well, Rohit could, but I much prefer to have the sword on him, especially since he's kind of operating as my bootleg warrior meets a bootleg mage. He's kind of doing 3 different jobs, so I don't know. I'd rather keep the sword on him instead of replacing it with the knife. I'm just gonna make that call, but let me go ahead and heal everyone up again. There should be 1, if not 2 more doors remaining for us to get through, and then we will head on out and continue our journey. As mentioned already, we don't really have a whole lot of clues, so we're not entirely certain who we need to talk to, where we need to go, but we have the nitro powder, so we'll eventually, surely, have to stumble upon somebody who's looking for this. Whether they need it for good reasons or not so good reasons, we'll probably not ask too many questions. But have we ever? It feels like we show up, someone tells us who they are, and then we just kind of believe them. But okay, I do not need Burl to die, so this needs to not be a thing. My God, you guys. This has been a journey, and I do not have another cure too, so let's just try to make him invisible and pray that this ooze does not kill Burl. Because if he does, it could have been a wrap for me. My God. Marsh Cave. I guess because I was talking all kinds of shit when we came here the first time. I was like, oh, my levels, they're so good. I guess we don't have to worry about it after all. And now the monsters were ready for round 2, and they were not letting me get through this without a little bit of a fight. I'm bringing him up to 100% HP. I don't have time to play these games. I have no more AoE spells. Rohit is dead. If I lose Burl, it's definitely going to be a bad time. But I think this is the last chest we need to mess with. I actually am going to memo save here because oh Lord, well, never mind. They got me before I had a chance. I'm going to throw Invis out on everyone. And I think I'm also going to raise Burl's attack damage. So with each hit, I'm praying 3 turns, these guys should be gone. Because I don't have the means, oh Lord. I don't have the means to keep everyone afloat like this. So we'll throw out Invis and hope that the enemy misses quite a few of their attacks. I will do an Invis on Melvin, and we'll just, I don't know, friends. What do we do? I don't think any of my spells are going to get the job done, so we'll cast slow. If I lose Tyrone or Melvin, it's not the end of the world. Burl absolutely has to stay standing. Well, I guess this forces you to be adaptable and to, oh God, that did absolutely nothing. Well, Melvin, if you have to go, then you have to go. I guess it was your time. We'll just, while we're here, throw one off on Tyrone. If we make them waste their turn, then it's kind of worth it. I don't really want to use another ice one. We'll just try fire. But I think Burl is packing a strong enough punch to where we should be good. As long as he lands his attack this next turn. My God. A memo save was probably what we needed to do. But I like to live life a little bit on the edge anyway. So we got through it. No point worrying about it. Rohit's going to be a little behind, but we'll get him where he needs to be. Okay. Give me what's in this, a silver armlet, which should actually be pretty nice. Let's scroll on down, and it says it is an armlet made of silver, and we can technically equip this on anyone. I'm thinking we're going to give this to Rohit. He just is struggling regarding just defense in general. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on him. It's not going to benefit him right now because he's dead, but when he finally is back and with it in our party, he will see the positive outcomes of having that on there, because that was a pretty sizable jump. 11 whole points. That's going to make a difference, hopefully, with future encounters. But enough of all that. I'm going to undertake on my own getting us out of here. It should hopefully go a little bit more smoothly than me getting myself down here. And what I will go ahead and do is probably run back to Elfheim on my own. I will bring Rohit back. And actually, I might try to artificially set up a situation where I can get Rohit a little caught up on XP, because his is now, I think, just really far behind everyone else. Honestly, Melvin probably needs to die, and then I think Burl is fine, but Tyrone and Rohit both are kind of lagging a little bit in terms of their XP to get to level 16 relative to Burl and Melvin anyway. So I will take care of all of that on my own. Maybe I'll go ahead and try to do some grinding, as I mentioned, for Rohit's sake. Maybe I won't, but all you need to know is when we do come back together in episode number 15, we will be all rested up. We will sell all of our random items that we cannot equip and cannot use together, and then we will figure out exactly where it is we need to go next. So until then, everyone, take care, be good, and I, your host Rabbit, look forward to seeing you in video number 15 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy 1 via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins on the PlayStation 1. I'll see you guys there.